What if history's biggest secrets weren't lost, they were just hidden? For centuries, we've thought the Ark of the Covenant simply vanished and that the legendary Templar gold was just a myth. But what if that's not the whole story? When you start looking at the forgotten clues and whispered legends, you find a thread connecting these two great mysteries. It's a story that suggests they are two sides of the same coin, and it might just change how we see history. Our story kicks off with the most sacred object in the ancient world, the Ark of the Covenant. Now, according to the Bible, this wasn't just any old box. It was built from acacia wood, covered in pure gold, and it held the stone tablets of the 10 Commandments, a jar of manna, and the rod of Aaron. This wasn't just a symbol, it was believed to be the literal throne of God on earth. It was a weapon that could level armies and bring down city walls. For almost 400 years, it was the heart of Israel's faith, kept in the tabernacle at Shiloh, a site where recent archaeological finds support the existence of a major religious center during that period. Eventually, King Solomon built a grand temple in Jerusalem to give it a permanent home in a chamber called the Holy of Holies. Then, in 587 BCE, the unthinkable happened. The Babylonian Empire swept in, sacked Jerusalem, and destroyed Solomon's magnificent temple. In all that chaos and fire, the Ark of the Covenant just disappears from the historical record. The Bible goes completely silent. There's no mention of it being captured, and no mention of it being destroyed. And so began one of the greatest mysteries of all time. Did the Babylonians melt it down for its gold? Or was it spirited away right before the city fell? This is where the official history ends and the fascinating theories begin. One of the most famous claims comes from the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, which holds that the Ark was taken to Ethiopia by Menelik, the son of King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba. They believe it rests today in a church in Aksum, guarded by one single monk for his entire life. Another ancient story suggests the prophet Jeremiah was warned by God about the invasion and hid the Ark in a cave on Mount Nebo, vowing it would stay hidden until the faithful were gathered again. Other legends place it in a secret chamber right under the Temple Mount itself, just waiting to be found. For thousands of years, these were just stories. But the trail doesn't go cold. It was picked up, centuries later, by a band of knights with a massive secret of their own. And that brings us to the Knights Templar. Founded around 1119, their official job was to protect Christian pilgrims on the dangerous roads to the Holy Land. But it's where they set up their headquarters that raises eyebrows. On the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, the exact spot where the Ark was last seen. For centuries, a persistent theory has argued their public mission was just a cover. A cover for what? For excavating beneath the ruins of Solomon's temple, looking for the very treasures that had been lost for ages. Whether they actually found anything or not, the Templars became incredibly rich and powerful. Through donations and a brilliant early form of international banking, they essentially became the world's first multinational corporation, loaning vast sums of money to kings and popes. Their influence was legendary, but it also painted a giant target on their backs. King Philip IV of France, who owed them a fortune, started seeing them as less of a holy order and more of a threat to his power. On Friday, October 13, 1307, King Philip made his move. He ordered the arrest of every Templar in France on charges of heresy and moved to seize all their assets. But when his men cracked open the vaults at the Paris temple, they were empty. The legendary Templar treasure, all the gold, the silver, and any sacred relics they might have had, was gone. Legend says that just before the arrests, a fleet of Templar ships sailed out of the port of La Rochelle and vanished over the horizon, taking their secrets with them. The mystery of what they were guarding is more compelling than ever. Before we explore the shocking theory that connects these two legends, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next investigation into history's greatest secrets. So, what is the connection? What if the Knights Templar's real treasure wasn't gold, but the Ark of the Covenant itself? The theory goes that during their years on the Temple Mount, the Templars found what everyone else had missed, a hidden chamber holding the Ark. Smuggling it back to Europe would certainly explain their sudden explosion in wealth and power, and the intense secrecy that defined their order. It might also be the real reason King Philip was so desperate to destroy them, not just for their money, but to seize the most powerful religious artifact in the world. Whispers and legends point to possible hiding spots, from a mysterious chapel in Scotland covered in cryptic symbols to forgotten vaults in Portugal. It is important to note that this is all highly speculative. There is no definitive historical or archaeological proof linking the Templars to the Ark. While peer-reviewed evidence is absent, the threads of the story are tantalizing. Two of history's greatest lost treasures might just be two halves of the same incredible story. A story of a sacred object hidden from an army, found by secret-keeping knights, and then lost all over again. The search continues, but one thing is for sure, the truth is still out there. What do you think happened? Let us know in the comments below.